Earlier in the course, we did talk about the $generate directive, but let's see how we can use it. If I go back and edit, I'm just going to my main zone at the moment, so let's go back into db.example. Now, should I want to put in, let's say, 100 student machines, we might name them student1.example.com, student2.example.com, etc. Rather than do that and put all 100 records in, if I had 100 machines, an option would be to go through and do this, especially if they had concurrent IP addresses. So if we then go through and add a new line, and we use then the $generate directive, and we can specify the range. So we will say, let's say 101 and through to 200. So that's given the range, but now we need to put in our host name, and we're just going to call it student $. And of course then we're appending the origin to the end of this. And then they're going to be internet records, address records, and the address will then relate to 10.0.2. So we're generating then a number from the range of 101 through to 200, and we're using that as our dollar element in the rest of the line. So I say, especially where we have consecutive addresses, then this is really going to work well for us. With this in place, and we can go through and save it. And if we just go back and run our named and checkconf, so we can see it all appears to be working well. We should have, I suppose, technically updated the serial number, but that only really becomes important if we are synchronizing to a slave server. We'll now go through and reload the zone. And now we should be able to go through and do something like host and then student101.example.com. And of course, then we should be able to carry on all the way through. So we'll just go through and do, let's say, 154. So we don't have to worry about putting those entries in. They're automatically added in. And of course, I would put something similar in my reverse lookup zone. So within my reverse lookup zone, we said it would be something similar, but we've got then our $generate, the same number range. And of course, we reference the number straight off, so we just have the $. And of course, then again, they are internet pointer records, and this time they're pointing to student-$.example.com. With this saved, we can go back, check our configuration, and then go through and reload. We should now be able to go through and do host 10.0.2.199, and then we see that points to student-199. Of course, it all depends on what your needs are. I work a lot in a training environment, so we use this all of the time, but it's something that you might well be able to do, especially when you're just looking at DHCP named hosts. So we've just about finished then with our zones, so let's move into the slides so we can tidy up this section.